Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 20. I'm your host, Peter. With me here today, we got Alex.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I had my mic muted there.
Yeah, that took a while. He's finally here after Sporting dropped points, which is a miracle. We got Kevin
Hey, what's up, everybody?
and Brian.
Hello, everybody.
So, Alex, that's like the first time you've been here since Sporting dropped points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to tell you. It just never works out.
Yeah, it
Only
never
drop
wakes up.
points.
Of course, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. I'm always busy.
Yeah,
you're
right.
Again, busy life.
At
Yeah.
this rate, I
Yeah,
thought you were
very,
going to leave the
very-
podcast.
But I just wanted to know first if anybody watched the game besides me and Alex.
The sporting game, I saw
Yeah.
15 minutes. The last 15 minutes.
And what about you, Kevin? Did you watch anything?
No, but I was listening to it on the radio. So.
Okay, good. So you got a little bit of knowledge on it. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So this is gonna be a good one. So Sporting played Rui Patrício in goal, obviously. Schelotto, Coates, Semedo, and Marvin across the back. William and Elias in the midfield, with Gelson and Brian Ruiz on the wings. Andre and Bas Dost. Alex, what are your thoughts on the game?
I thought we should have won, honestly. I know you're gonna disagree with that, but the first half we had a couple chances. Gelson hitting the post and I don't know, 5 minutes in or something like that. Brian missed a header that he should have scored, and then he had like a stupid long shot that he did. But we had the majority of the chances. It just came down to not finishing them again, like against Dortmund, and it's starting to get a bit frustrating,
Mm-hmm.
But nothing to take away from Tondela. They didn't play bad. Their goal was pretty nice. Don't like that as a Benfica player to score against us. But what can you do? We should have won the game.
Yeah, I don't think you guys played that well. Elias again.
Yeah, I don't think we played well either. Like, not to like the full potential, but I think we played good enough to get 3 points.
Okay, you didn't play anywhere near good enough to even draw that game, in my opinion.
No, we did.
Like,
We
like
played
no, you
good
didn't.
enough to get
Like,
3 points.
listen, I told you at halftime it was 1 versus 11, and it was Gelson against Tondela players, and even Gelson wasn't even that great. And
I disagree with you.
okay, but it's amazing how the fact that Coates was the only guy that was actually trying to go forward. Like, he was literally looked like a midfielder at one point. You guys had nothing going forward. You didn't create anything at all. And
We did, actually. We created a
did
couple
you-
chances.
Their first chance was like a header from past those. Like,
No,
that
our
went
first
way
chance,
wide off the post.
our first
way
chance
off-
was like
off the
5
bar.
minutes in. Gelson hit the post.
Yeah, okay, but besides that, they didn't really do anything.
And then it was like I don't know. It was probably like 20 minutes later. And then
Yeah,
Brian.
exactly.
And then he had those headers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
We created chances in that game.
yeah,
just
you
didn't
created
use
like
them.
about 4 chances. It's not good
We-
enough to win the game.
We created like six, 7 chances in that game, probably.
Not clear cut chances. No, not clear cut chances. I thought Tondela dominated your midfield like completely. William
That's
non-existent and
because-
Elias non-existent.
Yeah,
Both of
well, Elise is shit. Okay.
Andre, but didn't really do anything. I mean, he was
I was
there.
hoping he would because I like him. I know some sporting fans don't, but I like him.
Um,
I even tweeted before the game. Kind of embarrassing, but gonna be dropping a quick plug though. If you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure to follow me at
Gotta be kidding.
Rosinio.
000. How many times am I going to correct you on your own Twitter handle?
Sorry guys, 00. So let me just repeat that one more time. Rosinio 00. All right, what were we talking about?
Okay. Exactly. I
Oh,
was
me
talking
on
about
Twitter.
Andre.
I tweeted
Yeah,
we're gonna win 3-1, and Andre was gonna score at least once, and obviously that didn't happen. That's pretty
They went
embarrassing.
way off. Fun trivia for you. Andre actually made his debut for Sporting back in 2003, I believe. So there you go. There's some fun trivia for you. But see, he didn't really do anything. We barely saw anything from Castaños as well. Didn't bring anything to the game. And Brian Ruiz's form is completely dropping off from last season. Do you have any idea why, Alex?
I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the coach.
I didn't know that. I thought you were trying to
Yeah,
use
I
in
could be. I
disguise.
think I could be. Honestly, I do a good job probably, but I don't really know. I don't think he's been completely like horrible. Like he still creates chances. He's still one of the best players.
He's not the guy that he was last season. Like nowhere near that.
No, but I don't think really anybody is that. The whole team is worse this year. So Gelson's the only improvement from last season. So I think he's better than Joe Mario already. So.
Yeah, that's some big shoes to fill. But you know,
He's starting already.
your issue just consistent in the midfield. I think like Tondela just completely dominated the whole midfield, and they created their set of chances. William got lucky not to get sent off again, but you know, I thought that Tondela played really well, and they probably could have gotten the win, and probably deserved it as
They
well.
probably should have lost the game though. Like let's be honest, we created chances. We created chances in that game. You know, we controlled that game, and we should have won that game.
You control that game? When did you control that game? You probably controlled the first half. I'll take that, but not more than that.
Yeah, we controlled the first half, and the last 15 minutes, last like 10, 15 minutes, I thought we were doing much better.
That was expected.
So that's the majority of the game now. That's the majority of the game, right? So we can just control the majority.
Yeah, you control the majority of the game.
We created more chances.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. You had a lot of the ball, but you had like no chances. That's what I'm just trying to say.
I think you're wrong. I'm gonna argue this till the day I die. I thought we had lots of chances. I just finished them.
Kevin, you listened to the game. What did the commentators say?
They actually said that Sporting had a very poor game. Was very poorly managed. From what I heard, where was I? It's actually pretty funny because I was at the McDonald's drive-thru, Alex's favorite place.
Again?
Yeah. And I had the radio off.
What'd you get there?
And then, so let me just finish the story. I got a double cheeseburger with fries. So I'm sitting there, and after I ordered the food, and there was like a line of cars, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here sitting in the silence? So I turned the radio on, and as soon as I turned it on, the guy was in the middle of like screaming "Golo" for Tondela. I was like, jeez. And at that point, I didn't know the score. I thought Sporting was maybe up by like 2-0, 3-0, and they just had a consolation goal. But when the guy said 1-0, I was like, whoa. I was like, what minute is this? And then he said like the 75th or 76th, something like that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. So I didn't get to hear from the 90th minute on. But when I got home, I was actually astonished that the referee added 6 minutes.
Yeah, I know we should have got more time because they like to.
You played full 7 minutes. You played full 7 minutes.
No, we didn't.
You played full 7 minutes.
That guy laid on the ground. That guy laid on the ground for like 2.5 minutes.
Nah, you played 7 minutes, and it shouldn't even be 4. I was talking to my dad, like 85 minutes in, and I'm turning to him, and I'm asking him, like, how long do you think how much extra time do you think the referee is gonna give? And he's like, maybe 4 or 5. And I'm like, nah, no way, 3 or 4. And he gives out 6 minutes, which is just way off from what happened in the game. Because
can I just say something?
Tondela didn't time waste. They didn't time waste.
They did time waste.
They didn't time waste, but go on.
They did time waste. That guy faked the injury.
I just gotta ask something because I was watching Prolongament last night when whatever, and one of them pointed out that the referee he let it go to the 96, but he didn't
97.
97, whatever. Okay, so
we should have more time.
2.5 minutes. All right, so hold on. So did the player go down and for 2 minutes after the 90? Because I heard that.
Yeah, it was like 91st minute.
Okay, so he was down.
That was like only a minute.
We didn't start playing again until like the 93rd minute.
He compensated like the whole minute, man.
He compensated 1 minute.
And
it was like a minute, minute and a half.
Listen. What makes you think, though, that you would do better or you would do something in 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes that you didn't do in the full 90 minutes? You had 90 minutes. You had 90 minutes to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
You didn't do it. Don't blame it on the ref.
My question is, though, why are they saying that they should have had more time?
He should have had more time because he time wasted.
Hold on a second. You said that the player was down until the 92nd, 93rd minute.
No,
The
he
referee
went down
gave
at like the
4.
91st until like the 92nd, 93rd. Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Okay,
my bad.
what's
Go
3
to
plus 4?
92nd.
What's 3 plus 4?
No, it's like 93rd.
All right, he added it
He
from
got
where
off
it
at
left
90,
off.
50.
93rd
Yeah.
minute, he added the minutes. Where do you want more time? Did you want it to go to 10 and try your luck? Hell, might
The
as well
point
leave it.
is, they should not be blaming the referees. They should have
No,
won
that
the
was.
game.
We should have had
They
an extra
should
like,
have
2 minutes
won
in
the
the
game.
Shouldn't
They
have played
should
like
have won the
shit.
game.
No, listen. Though, what's funny
didn't play
is
like
that
shit, though.
they had 90 minutes to score a goal, but then they wanted like 10 extra minutes to score a goal that they didn't do in the 90. You had 90 minutes to score a goal. You didn't do it. Don't
It's
blame the refs.
ridiculous. They want to have like here in the United States, they have the college games, and whenever
Mhm.
somebody like there's a stoppage, they'll stop the clock. I mean, is that what they want? They want to stop the clock every 5 seconds?
Nah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
referee gave the right amount of time. The
No,
player
he
was,
didn't.
and I didn't even see it,
You
so
don't
I
watch the
asked.
game.
No, he could have given 1 more minute, 30 more seconds. It wouldn't have changed
He
the,
should have gave, like,
the
an extra
result.
minute.
though.
Joe
Yeah.
Campbell wasted time though, Alex, because Joe Campbell took off his jersey instead of grabbing the ball and going back to the halfway line.
He's already like you guys won the championship.
It's true.
He's like, yeah.
Why would he? Can I ask a question? Why would a player take off his jersey while you're losing when you should be getting the ball and going straight back to the halfway line so the referee could probably give you? Instead, he wasted a whole minute celebrating.
He
in
wouldn't
the
give
moment.
extra time anyways, because the rest was probably Benfica. Let's be honest, okay?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Who was the
Jesus
ref?
It was
Christ.
Ricosta, I think. It was Ricosta, dude. Oh my god.
It doesn't matter. Campbell
there
wasted
was,
your time.
and that was a red card on William, and everybody said
Yeah,
that.
that was the right card, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and worse than
That's
that,
borderline.
Yo, Kevin, you
Borderline?
wanna
That is a
know?
red, Kev.
You know,
I don't
You know
know.
what's
That's
worse?
borderline.
I thought it was a
no, it's a red. But Kevin, want to know what's worst? Is that a Tondela player gets fouled in the midfield, but the ball dropped to another Tondela player. He was 1-on-1 with Coates. It was Wagner versus Coates. Obviously, Wagner was 1,000 times faster than Coates, and the referee blew the foul. When all he had to do was run through Coates and be 1-on-1 with Patricio.
It's not the
So
referee's
they
fault.
can't-
Wait, are you
they
talking
can't
about the
blame
red
the
that foul that was in the midfield? Is that the one you're talking about, where William took him
wait,
down at the end of the
about
match?
William,
No,
yeah,
no,
we were
yeah.
talking about that one. We were talking about that one, but
Oh, okay. I
moved
just
on.
wanted to make sure. I didn't want to miss anything because I didn't really watch. So
No, I was talking about another one that happened like 60 minutes in where the
I
ball
didn't
fell
see
to
that.
Wagner. I know, but I'm telling you, he was
No, I
one-on-one
know.
with Coates, and the referee blew the foul instead of giving the advantage, which he should have done. Which they can't blame the referees. So he made mistakes for both sides, and even what would it be if he gave another extra minute? The game would go to the 90th minute. You think that you would won the game in 1 minute? Why
I think we
didn't you
would've.
win it in 90? Why didn't you win it in the 90s? You had 90 minutes to score.
Because we didn't
I
they
finish
were
it.
lazy.
That's why.
Huh?
We had chances, we just didn't finish them.
Exactly. So
That's
don't blame the referee.
We-
He could have given
It
you
was
an extra
it was
minute.
partially the referee's fault.
No,
Oh, God.
he could have
We
given
should
you an
have more
extra
time
minute. Listen, he could have given you an extra minute. You guys could have gotten a penalty, and you could have skied the goddamn penalty. It's not the referee's fault. You guys created chances. You didn't score. It's your goddamn fault. We shouldn't
But he
even
should
be
have given more
talking
time,
about
though.
that. We shouldn't even be talking about this.
No
When
more
you
fucking
time.
play
He
Can
gave
I
the
Tondela-
right
get my
amount of time,
opinion?
dude.
Can I
We
talk
should have
about
got
the
more
game?
time.
Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Well, I only caught the last 15 minutes, like I was telling you guys earlier. And like from the 15 minutes that I saw, Sporting didn't do too well. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Williams should have got a red. So if that happens, that could completely change those last minutes as well. Because Tondela could get a fast counter. It's one less play on the pitch. So you can't blame the ref for a draw if you got an advantage of the ref as well. He benefited Sporting as well. And not only for this game, he benefited Sporting for the next game because William can still play now when it's a clear red card. So it's not the ref's fault. Sporting didn't do well. They've been on, don't want
Yeah,
to
it was
slump.
the ref's fault.
They want to slump. That's Sporting fans blame the referee every single time, even though he
Oh.
helped you.
And you know
He
what's
helped you by not giving William a red. He helped you. Not
Yeah,
just for this game. He helped you for the next game because William gets to play. But it's the referee's fault, of course. You couldn't.
And you think William Blanc helps us? You think that helps us? That's
yeah,
like
it helps.
5%.
It
Yeah,
can help
okay,
stop
but
a counter. It can help. It's an extra man on the pitch. It's an extra man on the pitch when it should be one less man. You get
And
it? So it's,
it looks like it's not just Alex, it's everybody. Because when you're watching Sporting, all you hear is whistles. Like every goddamn time a player goes down, they start whistling. they're so frustrated that they put everything on the refs, and it's getting very annoying, very, very annoying. But
It's too much. Like, we all blame the refs at points, but it becomes too much,
yeah, if you
Like
watch
Benfica tied Stubble, and I thought that referee was garbage. At the end of the day, we should have won that match because Lindelof missed the open goal. So it's not the ref's fault. Lindelof should have scored. It's the same with Sporting against Tondela. You should have took your chances, like you said, and your players
more
did.
time then.
oh my
And
god,
Joe Campbell
You
wasted
had-
a
You don't
whole
know how to
minute.
add.
Joe Campbell wasted a whole minute by taking
You
off
guys-
his jersey.
Yeah, you guys had 96
Your
minutes to
player
score.
lost that game for you. If that's what you want to say time, your player lost that game for you. Instead of being a smart player by taking the ball good to have, he was a jackass celebrating like you won the league against Tondela when you should be winning that game 3 or 4-0. And that's the truth.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the truth.
See, I think we can agree to disagree, and we can move on. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm gonna move on to my next topic here, and
Alright.
it's about T. And just so everybody knows, T has gotten a lot of points from Porto and Sporting. But he managed 3 draws against Sporting, 1 with Boavista, and 2 with Tondela. In the last 3 seasons, Sporting dropped 6 points because of him. Alex, how do you explain the fact that T seems to have the number on George's teams?
I don't really know what you want me to say, to be honest.
Can anybody help me out here?
Yeah, how do you... Go ahead, Brian. Explain
I
it
was
to this
just
guy.
saying, well, I think Petit sets out to play that against everybody. Benfica struggled to beat Tondela in our first game of the season. I don't want to say we got lucky, but we just about got there. And I don't know, Petit just sets up really well. Now I think it's a mental thing with Petit and Sporting. Like, maybe JJ gets scared to even play him now just because he knows there's so much pressure that he rarely beats Petit. It's weird. I don't know why it happens. It's just like a freak of nature type of thing. But I actually want to see Petit move to a club like Guimarães or something like that, or a mid-table club to see if he can do better.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I was just gonna say, it's I have to disagree with Brian. I think that Benfica did get a little bit lucky with Tondela.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, I agree.
And same thing with Porto too. We got away with a penalty in that match. We got away with a penalty, and
Tondela got lucky.
and no excuse. No, what against Porto? I'm talking about
against
Porto. Oh yeah, sure. No bullshit excuses like Alex. Porto played like shit against Tondela. We got a draw. We tried at the end. André Silva had a nice chance he missed. We can't really say anything. We played like shit. We didn't score. That's the way it is. That's the reality of it. I'm not going to make bullshit excuses of a ref. It's just bullshit.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
Listen,
it's just
let me
funny.
say something now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't make excuses. I just call it how it is, right?
Of course, you call
Call
it.
Joe Campbell and tell him to stop celebrating against Tondela. Is he still celebrating?
Is he still celebrating? Yeah, that's the real question.
I don't know.
Is he, still
He was just
celebrating?
really excited to score his first goal for Sporting. That was
It's
more
actually
important
not
than
his
going for the win.
It's not his first.
Wasn't that a second?
Yeah, it was his second.
Oh, well, maybe he was just overjoyed. Maybe he thought they were winning. He can't add either, just like Alex.
That would be my guess.
Nah, he thought that Tondela was like Braga, man. He thought, you scored against the powerhouse.
Yeah.
Let's go get in. Yeah, it's
It was
mad
weird.
dumb. And Benfica completed a comeback a couple years ago with JJ, and you saw Lima when he got the draw. He celebrated, but he didn't take off his shirt. I mean, it was against Silician. And then we ended up winning with Markovic scoring the winner. But I was gonna say that it's quite funny that Petit has just gotten JJ's number. I think that's down to that. And it was a very good goal, by the way. Tondela's goal was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
I thought that Murillo was the best player on their team, probably. Moreno worked out quite well. They have a decent side. I actually think that they're gonna struggle, but it's hard to understand why they struggle so much. Maybe they just don't take their chances. Maybe
Yeah, they seem to do well against the big teams.
Yeah,
Like, I don't really get it.
They make it tough. Always.
And one of the last things I want to touch upon here, Alex, is you guys gonna play away to Nacional.
Yeah.
How's the team's mentality after dropping points against Tondela and now going away? to the Madeira?
They're probably, they probably aren't full of confidence or anything. I don't really know. Once again, like I said earlier, I'm not the coach, but I still think we're gonna win. As long as we don't play Elias, then we'll win.
Okay. And I just want to put a what if scenario here. Okay. So
Mhm.
let's say you drop points. Doesn't matter if you draw or lose. You just drop points. And then next week you have the game against Dortmund. Now, how do you think the team's going to react to that? Like, do you think that the team's going to play as well against Dortmund if they gotten the win against us now?
I think we'll play better. Yeah, there'll be more full of confidence. Actually, it could go both ways because they could want to, prove themselves since we got robbed against Dortmund.
Yeah,
And
that's why I was asking you.
yeah, it could go both ways. We could play
Mhm.
better. I don't really know.
But that's it on the sporting department. Unless you guys want to say anything else, I mean.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was only here for a little bit last week. I just had something to add to that Sporting and Dortmund match. I think that the main reason, not the main reason, but I think that Ruben Smido had a big part in that loss.
I
Very
agree.
weak defending. You agree? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he hasn't looked great the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't, and he only had one good match that I can remember, and that was against Porto. So,
See,
um,
it used to be, it's like a little switch. It used to be Semedo was playing great, Quattro wasn't, and now it's kind of flipped a bit.
yeah,
Even though
Well, in my
Coates
opinion,
hasn't
at
been
least.
that good either.
I think Quattro is going to be.
He's been decent, but not good.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, you notice this, like when teams winning consistently, most of the players seem to play well. You see, Porto now is they're looking better, because the team's starting to get some wins in a row. Benfica's looking good because we've been winning in a row, but Sporting's been in this slump. So it's like only one or two players really look good. Jelson has been outstanding all year. He's the only player that hasn't dropped, but the rest have looked either average or less than average. And I think Adrian Silva makes a humongous difference. I think everyone knows that.
yeah, I was just
In that
about to say
Sporting
that.
midfield. Yeah, he makes a big difference, man. And I think Sporting not having another top striker, let's say Bastos has a bad game, you kind of wish you had a Slimani in there who would probably win these types of games if he was still playing for Sporting.
I kind of
Yeah,
wish
the
we still had Teo, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. What you're saying, Alex?
That's what I told you. That's what I told you, man. Go ahead.
Sorry, Brian said something, I didn't hear him.
No, I
It's-
didn't know what you said.
I said I wish we still had Teo.
Oh, Teo, exactly.
Yeah,
Teo
that's
too.
exactly
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like I told you that, Alex. I told you should have
Yeah.
kept him, but you didn't
That was a
want him.
bad decision, but
But he has a bad attitude, though, so.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
but
I mean, the decision was justified, but
yeah. But guys, listen. We all know that the number 8 spot, and I'm gonna touch on that again because Kevin's here with us now, and he might be able to give his input on this. We all know that the number 8 spot is huge for JJ, and my question is how the hell does he not have a suitable replacement for Adrian Silva? Like, I'm not saying anybody at his level because I don't think there is anybody at his level, but someone that can do the job pretty well. Like he had it. It happened with Benfica. He lost Enzo. We had Pizzi. Pizzi played quite well for most of the season. When we lost Ramirez, Enzo came in. We lost Matic. We had Feza. We lost Javi Garcia. We had Matic. So all those 6 and 8 positions were filled quite well at Benfica. Now, why is he struggling so much with his sporting side? Why hasn't he, prepared for this?
I think Sonny Elias was preparing for it. I think he's reliable. He was consistent in Brazil, so I mean it's just kind of a shock that he's not playing good. That's what I think.
Do you think it's a failed investment to bring him back in?
I don't think we should have brought him in the first place. Why bring back somebody that doesn't want to be there?
Yeah.
Personal request by JJ, by the way, because Elias personally said, he said on Match Football, I think a couple weeks ago, saying that he already wanted him at Benfica, like last year or 2 years ago, or whatever it was. So it was a JJ request. But Kevin, you were going to say something, weren't you?
Yeah, I wanted to say something else too. I mean, to replace Adrian, you're gonna get Elias. I mean, that's just I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe there's no money. But there should be money because of the Slimani deal. So it's a
And
good
João
thing that
Mario.
Sporting held on to and João Mario, yeah. So it's a good thing that Bruno Di Carvalho held on to Adrian, because had he sold Adrian,
Yeah.
I think
We
that
disagree.
George Jesus would have been out by Christmas time. I'm
It would have
serious.
He
been
might
very
still
likely.
be.
I
Might
agree.
still.
Timo said that. Timo said that. He DM'd me, and we were talking, and he said if they sold Adrian, it's done. There's no way they're winning
Well,
the
if
league.
Sporting don't get better now without him, I mean, how long he's supposed to be out? Another month, right?
He's supposed
That's
to
a
be
lot of
out like
games.
another week, I think, something
Oh,
like
is
that.
it?
I don't
Oh,
think.
okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
that's
think
not
it was
far.
a couple
I
weeks.
thought
I
it's
thought
a
it was
month.
like 3 weeks. I thought it was like 3 weeks. So he
Okay,
should
well,
be
it's
out
not
like
that
another
far.
week. Maybe he should be
Okay.
back for the game on the week that we play Porto, I think.
Oh, okay.
But listen, Kevin, you were saying about money. They spent 3 million on Petrovic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have money. I'm just saying I don't know why they didn't make more of an investment.
No,
I think
that was
At least
my
he's good
point
though.
was
Like,
is
he's a
that
good player. He's
No,
reliable.
yeah, but well, listen. My point was that they spent 3 million on a player that, well, basically didn't bring anything to the team, and when he played 45 minutes, he got injured. So why didn't they invest in somebody that was actually playing, and that could help out, with Elias? Because you can't just have 2 players for that position. It just can't happen.
no.
Especially the way JJ plays.
I think JJ is somewhat to blame. We saw that Benfica too. He bought a lot of players he bought a lot of great players, no doubt about it. He helped us a lot. But he also bought a lot of flops that we spent a lot of money on that never worked. Ola John, Jurisic, and that's just a couple. Not to name all of our left backs.
I don't want to blame Jurisic on this though, so don't bring him on. Don't bring him up.
All right, but
It's not his fault.
not to mention
when the
like
guys,
6 left backs.
Yeah, you can say that, but it's not the guy's fault when he comes to JJ day one, and JJ says to him like, "I don't need a number 10, so I'm just not gonna use it."
Yeah, that's true too.
So
But
you can't blame him.
You get my point.
He
He bought a lot of
your
great
point.
players.
Yeah, he
bought a
said
lot of-
that. He said that. Alex.
It's a mixture of things.
Yeah, it left backs, and center backs didn't work. Yeah, so
Yeah.
plenty of this issue with JJ. But basically, that was my question to you, Kevin. Like, why would they waste money on a player that, well, basically couldn't get the job done? Why didn't they invest in somebody that was actually good? For example, in our league, because there's plenty of decent midfielders in our league, and that's what just completely. Yeah, go ahead.
Petrovic, you can't call him not good. He has almost 50 caps for Serbia. Just because he hasn't started off well doesn't mean he's not a bad player.
But he's a backup to FaZe, and FaZe is already a backup to another player. If FaZe is a backup to Matic, and FaZe is already on another level, then what is Petrovic?
I don't think FaZe is on another level though.
He's better than Petrovic, so come on.
Oh, he's better than Petrovic, yes, but you guys overrate him a bit there.
He's better than Williams. So.
If you watch Fasia, if it's not for Fasia, Benfica would be. It's kind of like you guys without Adrian. It's Benfica without Fasia. We would be pretty shitty. He's the monster in the midfield. We need him. Absolutely, we need him.
Yeah, but go ahead, Kevin. I just give out your opinion on this. Or let me just give you a question then, because we already put the this question a little bit. Why don't we buy players from our league?
Honestly, I think it's because, and I hate to say this, but I believe you're risking your investment flopping. I really believe that. Madaga, for example, he didn't work out for us, and I mean it was a different situation, and but he's doing well at Guimarães now, and I think that he's more suitable for a team like that. I think that if he came to Porto, I don't think he would fit in the system. Now, I just want to go back real quick to the number 8 spot for Sporting.
Go ahead.
And the one player that comes to my mind immediately when I think of if Sporting was to get another player, I don't know if you guys will take a guess, but the number 1 player that comes to my mind is João Moutinho, and I think that he would fit that system perfectly.
But would Sporting accept him back?
I don't think.
I wouldn't want him back.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. They got Elias back, so they can handle anything right now.
Yeah, because Elias is better than João Moutinho, right, Alex?
Yeah.
I'd rather just Elias.
Kevin, I don't think that he has anywhere near the engine that JJ needs for a number 8 player.
But he's smart though. He can pull the strings on the midfield.
Yeah, but
It doesn't suit the system. Though.
Yeah, it doesn't suit the system at all unless you play
I
him as a
disagree.
deep okay.
I actually agree with
Playmaker.
Peter.
That's what I was thinking. Deep playmaker. That's where he fits better.
I think we should just switch up. You know, in January, sell William. You know, buy another center mid with the money and.
Oh my
pair him
god!
up
You
with
know, that's what I said on the first season. Where William was a breakout star, I said sell the motherfucker. He's not gonna be any good. 2 seasons later, he's not.
Now they're struggling to
His
sell.
price has
It's just he's
decreased.
so slow. That's
He was like 45 million 2 years ago, and now if you get 30 for him, it's already a bargain.
Listen,
Or a great
if William had like the pace of Aldrin or something, Aldrin is not fast, obviously, but he's not slow either.
Yeah,
if he had
he's
like
faster.
that kind of pace, William would
Obviously.
he'd be the best CDM probably in the world, honestly.
Obviously, but that's why I said that he's
Yeah,
a
he
goddamn
was, I think.
snail. He's a goddamn snail, so he doesn't move around the pitch, and now people are starting to notice that. I mean,
But you don't need to be fast to be a it's good to be a defensive midfielder that's fast.
Yeah,
it's
I think
great. But if you know if you know how to really play, Fascia doesn't have knees. The man doesn't have knees because he's injured so much, yet somehow he's always there getting the ball because he knows how to rate the
He's fast. He's fast.
I could be wrong.
He cut up more than once with their winger, with Bones's winger.
So I'll take the loss there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong on that one.
I said this before. I think he's suited perfectly to be a center back.
If Coates can be a center back, then he can be a center back too.
Yeah, because Coates is slow. Just pair him up with some maybe quick.
He's not slow.
I think honestly,
if you can read the play, yeah, go ahead.
Those two could be a good pairing, Semedo and William, but maybe I'll have to get into contact with JJ.
I was gonna say something else though, just before we move on. Just something that just popped in my mind. Alex, since Ruben Smith is playing bad or not as good as he used to, why not play Paulo Oliveira? Because he was very good in the Taça game. So
JJ doesn't like Portuguese players, unless
Semedo's Portuguese.
Unless they're really good. Well, Semedo's garbage. I don't know why he plays.
I don't know.
He's not garbage. He's
not better than Paulo Oliveira. He's not better than Paulo Oliveira. Not better than Paulo Oliveira.
It's debatable.
But would you play him?
I think Paulo's
would you play Paulo Oliveira over Ruben Smith?
At this point, yeah, but
there we go.
If Semedo's I think Paulo's a bit weak in the air, and he's just.
Nah.
I think.
Let me tell you why JJ likes Smith better than Paulo Oliveira. He's stronger. That's the only thing he's got going for him. He's strong. Other than that, he's pure garbage.
He's fast.
He's fast as well. But other than that, he's nowhere near.
He's the next Pepe.
Freaking Paulo Oliveira was in the fringes to get up on to be called up to Portugal, and now he's not even in the discussion because he doesn't play. He's a great player. I'd gladly take him at Benfica. If you want us to take him, I'll take him.
And if you want to give us draft, you can give us draft. Like I'm being serious.
All right, I'll give it to you.
I'm being serious with that.
I'll fly to Lisbon and I'll make the deal. We're gonna move on though. We're gonna move on to Benfica now because we've been talking.
Wait, hang on. Can I quickly just point something out about Paulo?
Yeah, go right ahead. Why not?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does have one cap for Portugal, and it was the loss to Albania.
I think he has. You think he has like one cap? Yeah, you're not gonna blame the Albania loss on him. You're not gonna blame.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying. His only cap for Portugal, they lost.
Yeah, but it's got like nothing to do with it, so it's pretty much useless to say that. It wasn't his fault.
Let's move on. This is a lot of sporting talk.
I think it's a good tidbit of information.
He's a great player. I would gladly take him at Benfica. Final, and he was coached by Rui Vitória, so there you go. Yeah, right. So moving on to Benfica, Blanes, Benfica. Obviously, Benfica won 2-0. Mitroglou and Grimaldo were the scorers. Brian, I'm just going to give you the lineup real quick. Ederson in goal, Nelson Semedo, Luizão, Lindelof, and Grimaldo across the back. Feza and Pizzi, Salvio, Guedes, and Mitro with Servi on the other side of the wing. First obvious question, what did you think of the game?
I thought we started off well. Mitroglou got a chance before he scored, and then he ended up scoring off of a corner. I thought we played well. Like our right back and our left back, Semedo and Grimaldo was brilliant again. But then I think Belenenses had a good 20 minutes where it was like Benfica couldn't take control of the game again. It was like they were really trying to score. Yabda even almost scored against his former club against us, if not for Addison's great save. And then I think we like closed the first half off pretty easily, controlling the game the way Vitoria likes us to play. And then the second half was even. I thought Belenenses they didn't shoot as much, but it's like Benfica couldn't take control again until that second goal happened. It was like a battle in the midfield, a huge battle in the midfield. I want to point out that I'm not a fan of PZ, like I say every week. To me, his first half, I know you disagree with me, Peter. His first half was brilliant, in my opinion. He had a brilliant first half, switching the play, making great passes. He got an assist. But as I said that on Twitter, his second half was absolutely
very poor.
garbage, especially those first 15 minutes where he gave away like 3 fouls in 5 minutes, actually, very quickly. But overall, like, Gonzalo Guedes looks like he keeps on getting better. He's really growing now. He looked great. He got a great assist. That was a beautiful pass, like a great dummy and a beautiful pass. Grimaldo scored, and I said this, that Grimaldo will get 5 or 6 league goals this year. He has 2 now. He's doing even better. He's doing it very quickly. And we missed some easy chances as well. Mitroglou should have scored. Salvio looked good again. The whole team's looking good again. And Fejó did what Fejó does. It was his usual performance. Overall, it was an easy win, but not as easy as we usually do there. But I'm happy for the victory, of course.
I add a couple things to what you said. I think the game should have ended like at least 5-0.
It should have.
We created way too many chances, and we should have. We
missed some easy chances.
I wanted to add that Sevi was absolutely amazing. And my question to you, though, falls here. Is Semedo the best Portuguese right back right now?
Portuguese right back? I would say Portuguese, yeah. To me, he's super quick, and he's looking even better than he looked last season before he got injured. And he's still young. To me, he's been brilliant, man. Especially these last couple of games, he just keeps getting better and better. He has to keep getting called to the national team. I'm sure he's going to start playing for the national team.
Not over Cancelo.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, see, I didn't think about Cancelo. But either way, I'm happy with Cancelo or because Cancelo is a Benfica Youth Academy product. Either one I'm happy with. But that's true. Cancelo has been brilliant. But Nelson Semedo deserves to be back up, in my opinion.
We don't even know.
Jean Pereira, this guy.
I don't consider
No, not Jean Pereira. Ricardo.
Oh, I thought you said Jean Pereira. I was going to say.
In my opinion, it's João Cancelo first, Nelson Semedo, and then maybe Cedric. I don't even know. I wouldn't.
I don't even.
I forgot about Cedric.
I wouldn't even consider Cedric.
But
I
European champion, though.
I considered everybody, and that was my opinion. And I think to me, it's like right now, at this moment, he's the best Portuguese right back. Right now.
Well,
I don't watch Liga. I don't watch La Liga. All I can tell you is that right now, Smith's the best Portuguese right back. The guy's got tremendous pace. He's got a huge stamina. He holds up the whole game. He's got amazing dribble. It could be a winger, literally. What else was
I was gonna say the only other right back in the Liga that can compare to Semedo, to me, who I really like, even though he plays for Porto, is Miguel Layún. I really like Miguel Layún as a right back. But yeah, it's just those two in my opinion. They're by far the two best right backs in the league. No, I think Scalotto is too hot-headed, and he's not that good in my opinion.
I think he's good. I just think he's got anger problems.
Yeah. If I had to pick between right backs, I would pick Semedo over Scalotto.
I'd pick Maxi.
He's not as good as he used to be.
PG. Touching on PG. He's very good just passing the ball around. He's atrocious in the final third. That's why I said he was awful, and I wanted him off.
But then you look at his stats, though, and he's not atrocious.
But I disagree.
No, I'm talking about this game, because this game he didn't do anything, Alex.
No, Peter.
No, listen. He cost us chances. At least 2 chances where you could have passed or shoot.
Listen. He did cost us 2 chances or whatever. I don't remember those chances. But he also switched the play to Nelson Semedo perfectly twice, in which that could have been huge opportunities. Mitroglou, when he hit the post, was off of a great Peasy pass. The corner was off of Peasy. Peasy created some great chances for as well, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Just leave him off the final third, and I'll agree with you.
But he
Inside
did that in the
third,
final
no.
third. Mitroglou hit the post in the final third because of Peasy's pass. Come on, that's a fact.
That's like one chance, like the whole game that he had. I thought he was pretty bad, like on the final third. Other than that, I got like no complaints for him except for the first 3 fouls that he committed in the first 10 minutes. So I was just like, come on, dude, what the hell is going on with you? But I felt like other than that, he was good. But I just don't like him in the final third.
We're gonna disagree, and I don't like Peasy, but we're gonna have to disagree on that.
Yeah, but
I like Peasy.
Yeah, we know you do.
I know you Benfica fans don't, but I'm a Sporting fan. I like him. So.
Somehow, let me tell you what it is that keeps him in his side that you brought up a few weeks ago, Peter, is that he just fits what Rui Vitória wants him to do perfectly. He's actually a huge help in helping in midfield, getting back to defend, and also bringing up Servi. Servi defending has been brilliant. Has been brilliant. He drops back, and he almost always attacks for that ball. I mean, Selvia has been at Benfica for years, and he can't defend like that.
No.
Servi's been brilliant.
He's been tremendous, and now I think we're really starting to see what Rui Vitória can do to their players because they are growing immensely.
Huge.
And another player that's been amazing in the final third has been Salvio. I mean, he had like 1 or 2 chances where he could have passed and he shot it, but besides that, he's creating chances again like he was a couple seasons back.
He's getting back to his old self, like we said, slowly but surely. Now it's looking like he's doing it even more quickly. He's got confidence from Rui Vitória. Rui Vitória keeps starting him. And like right now, Carrillo will never see the pitch if Salvio keeps these performances up.
No, I don't think anybody should. I don't think anybody else should.
The only player that I could see competing would be Rafa when he comes back, because Rafa had a very good first game for us.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't really see anybody taking that spot.
No.
Gad's been staying consistent, which is very, very good. He's back to back good games. So, he's been playing quite well. I thought Luizão is finally getting to his own groove again. He was good again. He was very good. Looks like his old self from 2 seasons ago with JJ.
Yeah, no, that's great to see, man, especially after a lot of flack that he took from our team. It was sad to see like how people were saying we almost sold him. I don't know if that was ever true. But I'm glad we kept him, and he's going to be important throughout the season. He's playing now because Jardel's injured, and he's doing very well. We have a great, deep squad, man. This team we should be up there to win the title again. There's no doubt about it.
No, I think we are strongest. We are the strongest favorites. We should be back-to-back champions. Says it all. I was going to touch upon something else. So Lindelof. I think he improved from his performance last week against Kiev. And I'm running out of words to describe Grimaldo, so I mean I'm not even gonna touch upon that again because it's just useless because the guy's just amazing. And one of the last things I want to talk about though is we only have 2 injuries now. Rafa and Jonas. Samaris, Horta, you name it, everybody's back, but those 2.
It's good, and we keep winning without Jonas, which is such an important piece to our team. We keep winning without Jardel, which is a huge piece to our team. That's a lot of credit due to Rui Vitória, who also last year we lost a lot of players around Christmas time, and that's when we start to get on the roll and keep winning as well. So it's a huge credit to the coach. And I just feel like these players really believe in him. They want to fight for him. All this talk that Sporting does, I think it makes us more and more united every single week because it's like us against the world. You know what I mean? We really want to win it because we want to prove to you that we're really a united team and we don't have to talk about others to continue to win.
And you know what's scary is that this team already looks incredibly good. Now you had Rafa in there, you had Jonas in there, you had Jardel in there.
I mean, you add players coming off of the bench that can be a huge help, like Samaris. Let's say Rafa isn't starting, but he comes off the bench. I mean, that's a huge player to come off the bench.
Yeah, and even Carrillo, Raul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking very good.
Hey, Peter.
Go ahead.
I think Alex has to say something.
Yeah, I just before I have to go. So just before I go, I want to let all you Benfica fans that are watching, and obviously the ones on the podcast, just a daily reminder that Sporting won the Tetra and you guys haven't, and that's it.
Okay.
Have you ever seen your team win the league title?
I gotta go. Yeah.
Bye. Yeah, that's the
See,
answer.
Yeah, bye. See you. Okay, there we go. He left, so that's good. Yeah, and I was gonna say, and it's too bad that he had to go because I think it was last week. No. When did they play Famalicão? Yeah, it was last week, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sporting played Famalicão last week, and it's just the difference between both with both coaches is just absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
Like George was saying, it's not easy not having Adrian. We don't have a suitable replacement. There's no one like him in this team. He's one of the best, yada, yada, yada. Well, on the other side, you have Rui Vitoria that every single goddamn week since last year says, it doesn't matter if he's not available. We play with the best players that we have. Who cares? He's not available. We got other guys. He's one of the guys that he doesn't take excuses. He doesn't make excuses for players not being fit. And it's completely different from JJ.
The thing is that what's bringing down JJ, and not just JJ, Mourinho as well, is the cockiness. They're so cocky that they think they're ahead of everybody else. And in the end, it always comes back to, Rui Vitoria is humble. He wants to work. That's all he cares about. He wants to win the title, not for himself, but for the team. And that, at the end of the day, is why I'm so happy we ended up with Rui Vitoria and JJ leaving. Rui Vitoria just adds much more. He is a true Benfica coach that I want to see. I love that he's with us. And I was embarrassed to have JJ at some times because of the things that he used to say and the things that he used to do. With Rui Vitoria, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, and Kevin, do you have anything to say about this different attitude that both of them have, where JJ just loses Adrian Silva and Benfica loses Jonas, which are both the best players of their teams, and the different approaches that both coaches make is absolutely different. What do you have to say about that?
Well, we all know that Jorge Jesus is a big mouth. He is cocky and arrogant, but I think the difference is clearly that Benfica has more depth than Sporting. So, Rui Vitoria doesn't pay any attention to what JJ says. And, good for him. I wouldn't listen to him anyway. He just tries to get in people's heads and under their skin and play mind games. So, and I told you guys before, I think that Rui Vitoria is a very classy coach. He doesn't like to speak about other clubs. So, I have to applaud him for that. And, kudos to him. I respect that. I respect him as a coach. He did a great job at Guimarães, and I didn't think he was going to last with Benfica, to be honest. The way that the preseason started, going all the way up to mid-season last season, I didn't think that he was going to last, and he did. And lucky for you guys, you held on to him and gave him a chance. But he's a classy guy, and I respect him. And JJ just blabs a lot, and I really hope that Porto never signed him because he's the only one of the big three left to go for. I really hope not. We don't need him, trust me.
My driving teacher, whatever you want to call him, said that he's waiting for JJ now. He's just waiting for him to join Porto.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm being serious here. I'm not joking.
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Because when he leaves Sporting, he says he doesn't want to coach abroad because he doesn't want to learn another language. Where will he go? Either back to Benfica, which that's never gonna happen, or to Port. If Port don't win the title this year, let's say Benfica wins the title and Port somehow flop big time, and I mean big time. I don't think that's gonna happen, but let's say it does. And Sporting don't win the title, JJ will be at Port next season. I can bet you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I hope not.
It's gonna happen though, so just get ready for it. And just before, I'm gonna go off topic just a little bit here because I think this is just worth mentioning a little bit. Is the fact that José Conceiro again, Braga played the worst team in their group in the Europa League, didn't come away with a win, and he's back to his Porto self. Blame the refs. What's up with that? Like,
No, I think that comes from him coaching Sporting way back then.
I'm not trying to have a dig at Kevin, but it's a little bit true. Like, whenever Porto didn't manage to get points, he always put it on the refs. And now, when they played a completely inferior side to Braga, and it's just not me saying, it's the pundits as well, because I was listening to Sick Notícias after the game. They played atrocious football, and he puts the blame on the referee. Like, what's up with that? Like,
It's just the easiest thing to do. I mean, obviously, whenever you don't get a positive result, the fault always seems to be is the referee's fault. Like Sporting, for example, it wasn't the fact that Sporting played like shit that they didn't
Or
get
Joe
the
Campbell
win.
took off his jersey.
Yeah, all that. It's the referee's fault, and it's garbage. I can see if the Sporting played well, and they had a bad penalty call not called in their favor. That's a different story, But there was nothing like that. They just played like shit, and and that's what happened. And same thing with Porto. Like I said before, they played like shit against Tondela, and that's what they got. So nobody to blame but yourself, and that's the point I'm just trying to make.
Yeah, and that's what and that's exactly what I'm trying to say, is that the Portuguese managers, or most of them, seem to be going the complete opposite way, trying to,
I think
what they say in Portugal is tirar areia para os olhos, basically.
I think it's a problem within the Portuguese football community though, because even if you watch our shows like Prolongamento and all of that, half the topic, even we're doing it now, is about referees. And then that just grows naturally into our football. But at the end of the day, we can't always blame refs. Sporting, if they blame the referee against Tondela, there's something really wrong with that. I know JJ did it, but I mean, come on, you can't blame the ref.
And when you have a team that sets out to be the best, or to have the best clock ever, to have the best supporting group, and 70% of the game
was whistling.
They are whistling. It's just ridiculous. I think that they've grown so frustrated that it's gotten worse than the Porto Benfica. Because when Porto plays Benfica, there's a lot of whistling going around when a Porto player falls down or anything. But it's not like every single play in the box. No, it seems like every time a Sporting player falls inside the box, there's whistling going on for like 10 minutes.
It's only a matter of time, and we're starting to see it now. The Sporting fans are turning on JJ. Because at the end of the day, he lost a 7-point lead last season. They're playing terribly so far this season. And you can't blame the refs every time you don't win. You just can't do it. And it's only a matter of time before they blame the president. I don't know how they haven't yet. Because if I am a Benfica fan, obviously. If our president, Luis Felipe Vieira, blames referees every single week, I'm going to be pissed off. I don't want my president doing that. And I don't want my president, although he did it years ago, luckily he doesn't do it anymore, talking about Porto every week. I'm glad he doesn't do it anymore because I don't care about them and I don't care about Sporting. And luckily, our president is very smart now. Every week he talks about us, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Kevin, you were going to say something?
Oh, no, I just, most of the time it is the referee's fault. I'm not saying that it's not, but, there are some calls, even and different matches that we don't get to see. That nobody really cares about, like the Shavj game, Peter. You know what I'm talking about from about like a month or two ago. So, it does happen, and it happens more often than not.
But Kevin, Sporting is a team with millions of euros, with an amazing team. Why do they blame the referees every single week? It shouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Well, they blame them when they don't win, and that's the trend that they're going with this season.
Even sometimes when they do, and you hear them talking bad about the referees, it's incredible.
Yeah. But the bottom line here is, guys, we are the big three. We have way better teams than others. We should never be blaming the referees unless it's like I'm talking about a blatant call, a blatant penalty or anything.
And it's happened. It's happened to Porto.
Yes, it has happened to Benfica as well. Like
but more so Porto than any of the big three. You have to admit.
I think the Stubble, for example, the Stubble offside goal is clearly offside, and he didn't call it. So it
is.
And Sporting had calls in their favor last year as well that were
even
clear
this year already.
Exactly. But I think that we have to be superior to everybody else. It doesn't matter Because we are the best teams. We can't complain about the referees every single week, and unfortunately, we are doing it because it's just a trend that Sporting started. And it's just stupid. Like sometimes we can talk about how bad they are because they generally are bad, but when they don't even make mistakes, we are talking about them because freaking Bruno Carvalho decided to go out and say it was the referee's fault.
Yeah, and he didn't talk about the referees when Sporting played Porto. He didn't say anything about that match.
Of course not.
But he didn't come out and talk about Bruno Cesar that should have got ejected that game, or William Carvalho who gets away with murder. So, and he does. What's it gonna take for him to get a red card? Is it gonna take for him to snap somebody's leg for him to get a red card? Is that what they're waiting for?
Yeah, I'm just waiting now. Benfica play Porto, and there's like a call gone on for Porto. And like Benfica win the game, right? Let's say they win the game, but there's like a call.
But go ahead.
There's like a call. There's like a call, or like could be a second yellow, but it's not a second yellow. And then on the next day, you could hear Bruno Carvalho come out and say, "Oh, Benfica should have got that player sent off, and he didn't get sent off when they have like nothing to do with it." And Porto might even never complain about it. It's just Sporting are in that type of state that even the team what is the word that I want to say? Can anybody help me out? Like the team that prejudicado, basically.
Yeah,
it's screwed. Yeah, they get to show that in the stick.
Okay, screwed. That's the team that got screwed. I was looking for a better term, but okay.
Robbed? Is that better?
Or robbed. Might not even say anything, but Sporting will go out and say it because it's against Benfica, basically. They're at that point where it doesn't matter if it's with them or if it's with another team, they're going to complain about it.
But what it is that Sporting's trying to distract Benfica. They're trying to bring us down somehow with anything they can. Even though everything that we've been corrupt for has been proven that we're doing everything within the legal limit once again, which was proven last season, but we have to do it once again this season.
Yeah.
It's within a legal limit in which UEFA gives clubs a legal limit to do these things, and it's within a legal limit. But the point is, they're trying to tear us down. Last year, when they were 7 points ahead of us, rarely did you hear Sporting talk about referees with us because they thought they had the title wrapped. But the minute they lost the league title in that last game of the season, they were saying the league is a league of lies. Yet you are ahead by 7 points for most of the season. So what is it? Is it a league of lies, or is it that your team's just not good enough?
Yeah, exactly. And it's worse when all the referees say, "Hey, we get gifts from everybody. We get like mini estádios do dragão. We get everything. Like literally, I know that referee got like a mini dragon statue. I think from refereeing the Porto game. It's not like that. He's going to a
It's not bribe. It's almost saying like thanks for being your ref.
Yeah.
There's an appreciation. It's not giving them 5,000 euros. It's giving them a jersey. It's giving them a thing to go eat with the family. I mean, is that going to...
or like a statue.
Marco Ferreira was usually shit against Benfica from what I remember. I hated that referee. I absolutely hated him. And he's now saying that he got it from all clubs. And he was shit against us. In my head, he was garbage.
Yeah.
Pedro is a Benfica member. And how many times did he rob Benfica? I hated that guy.
It doesn't influence anything. I mean, we're talking about little gifts here. Kevin,
if the Stubble referee got a gift against when he reffed Benfica Stubble, then why didn't we win that game?
Exactly.
He got a gift, didn't he? Didn't we get a voucher? But we didn't win that game.
Yeah.
Great point.
So I think
which is gonna bring me to my next point. Whenever you guys are done with this whole voucher talk, I got something to say about this.
What? Talk about what?
Okay. All right. Hold on.
No, just tell me so I can know if I need what. If I want to say it later,
just let me say it. Let me say it. Okay.
I might just say it.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
They gave something to the referee for like remembrance, like thank you, a token of appreciation.
Yeah, every club does that.
You were acquitted, correct? I don't know what the results of the investigations were. They're still investigating.
It's gonna go for a while just because they want to clear everything up. That's what I've heard.
But it looks like it's gonna be dismissed.
Okay, so it's gonna be dismissed.
But they're just, they're not leaving any stone unturned, basically.
Okay, right. That's fine. Okay, so you're gonna get acquitted. It's gonna be dismissed. That's fine, right? That's okay. That means you're not guilty, correct? Okay.
Now we're gonna go.
Now, why with this whole apito dorado bullshit, which is complete lies. It was all manipulated.
That's why.
Okay, I'm not.
Hold on, let me finish. You guys talked about your voucher case.
No,
All right, go.
Yeah, but we're not going to
What's the difference, right? With the league, the Portuguese Federation, with all their lies, they all backed down when it went to court, and Porto were found innocent, and they were acquitted of all charges, which were bullshit.
You want to know? You want to know why Porto got acquitted?
Why?
Because those calls were recorded illegally and couldn't be
Those
used
calls
in
are
court.
fake.
But we're just going.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof? There's no proof. There's no proof.
Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, but the point is, if Porto gets acquitted, why are they still guilty?
They got acquitted.
Why does everybody bring that up?
The tapes
Because OJ
Simpson killed his
wife and he was found innocent, Kevin. OJ Simpson killed his wife and he was found innocent.
That's different, dude. This is different. The Portuguese Federation cooked this all up. They did.
Why would they cook it up against a team that won the Champions League?
Because we were dominating. Listen, why? Hold on, Peter. Hold on. You guys talked about your vouchers. Now let me talk about. I need to defend Porto here. I need to make a point of why is it okay that Benfica gets acquitted of this bullshit voucher case twice, but Porto get acquitted? Look, there's no need for them to supposedly bribe a ref or pick a ref for it's all bullshit. So why would they have to have help against Estrela da Amadora of all teams, which they won that game, fair and square, clean. The judge tossed that right out because there was no signs of any wrongdoing in that match, any match fixing, anything. There was no evidence of anything. Against Beira-Mar, we drew. So if the referee against Setúbal, Benfica didn't win that match, and there was a bullshit offside that they didn't call, okay, that's fine. But Porto didn't win against Beira-Mar, they drew. But yet we coerced and we tried bribing.
I have to drop this.
Either you believe the fan calls or you don't. Me personally, I believe the fan calls are real.
Of course you're gonna believe it.
Okay.
Kevin, you have your right. You have your right.
You have your right to say you're innocent. And I can't say you're wrong because nobody officially knows. But me personally, I believe people made those fan calls and did that. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I respect that, but I just think that the Federation is a joke.
And I just want to. I want to leave this on one video that I want you to watch. It's not anything related with calls. It's Porto Benfica in the Supertaça.
I saw that
a long
time ago, right?
Jesus Christ, that was madness. Yeah, that was like in
that
the
doesn't
90s.
mean anything though, because that wasn't in question. What was in question?
It was supposedly. Back in the 90s. That's how Pentecost won all those stuff. But whatever.
No, it's not. Prove it.
Porto won. It's in the past. It doesn't matter.
People those bullshit. We won the UEFA Cup that year, and we won the Champions League the next year. Tell me how that's. We bribed UEFA refs too. Then we must have.
You guys got acquitted. We got acquitted. We're done.
But that's the point.
Don't push the subject.
I'm just saying. Can I just ask a question? I just want to ask a question.
Ask the question. I didn't
Benfica
I can't.
Got acquitted. Porto gets acquitted. Why does that keep getting brought up? I just don't understand. Like, that's the only defense.
It's not getting brought up by the media anymore.
It's not. Yeah, nobody's bringing that up.
I'm not saying the media, but Benfica fans all over the place.
Obviously, Benfica fans are always going to talk about something that
and sports is always going to talk about vouchers.
We believe that we got screwed over because of that. That's why we're going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up with you because it's useless. We can't do anything about it now. We believe we got screwed over. You guys don't, so it's all fine. It doesn't hurt anybody. You guys
all right, let's carry on.
Title.
I just had to say that.
I know, and it's totally fine. I'm just saying that we're always going to have our opinion. Unfortunately, on this thing, we're never going to know who's right. It's always going to go both ways. You know, with Juventus, they got relegated. Everybody saw that. They lost their league title. But with Porto, nobody can say anything. They got acquitted. Porto fans are going to say, yeah, those were fabricated. And Benfica fans are going to say, no, that's real. And
same thing with Boavista. They got in trouble for no reason, and they were forced back into the first division for what? So their names are tarnished. We could just leave it. We can carry on if you want. We could change the topic. I don't.
I had to. Yeah, we're going to carry on because there's no point. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Porto fans are going to believe it's fabricated. Benfica fans are going to believe it's real. Neither of them know which one's right. Final question on Benfica. Brian, we play Paços Ferreira this Friday. What do you think?
Oh well, at home we should always win. I know we tied Setúbal at home already this season, but if we keep playing the way we're playing, if we bring back Andre Horta, even though Pizzi's probably going to start again because he's looked good, It should be an easy, comfortable win. I can't see why not. If it's not, it'll be a huge disappointment. But yeah, it should be. I don't think we're gonna blow them out. I haven't really watched
I was
them
actually
this
gonna say
season.
the otherwise.
Oh, I haven't watched them this season, so I'm not exactly sure how well they're doing. But yeah, we should be in, especially at home.
Their coach doesn't surprise me all that much. I think we could definitely go for a blowout. It's definitely
Yeah.
got to be a different story away, but at home
Yeah.
should be a comfortable, at least 3-0 win.
Yeah.
Since we're only gonna be here the week after, so we're gonna be here next week, but the game's gonna be played. What are you thinking about Kiev?
I think we outplayed them in Ukraine. I think we played really well, even missing a few players again. And I think at home, hopefully we have a packed stadium, at least well over 50,000. I hope.
Yeah.
And it should be another win. And if we do that, then we're looking good to make it out of the group.
Yeah, should be another win. Okay.
Yeah.
Now moving on to Porto, and I'm sorry that I left little time for this. I mean, we still have like roughly 20 minutes if you still want to go for that long, Kevin. It's really down to you and what you have to say about the game. Porto played at Oca. They won 3-0. André Silva with a double, and Brahimi scored. The 11 was Casillas in goal, Layun, Marcano, Felipe, and Alex Telles across the back. Danilo with Herrera. Corona, Silva, Jota, and Oliver Torres. First and foremost, what did you think of the Porto performance? I thought you guys came out pretty strong, and after the first goal, it was a little bit a game with no history, really.
Yeah, and it goes back to their dominance, which is why it's kind of hard to discuss the Porto games last couple of weeks. But, the team came out strong. They're hitting their stride, like I said last time. So, I'm very happy with the way that they're playing. I can't really complain, especially with Otavio being out. I mean, granted, it is Oroca, but they're a good team. And I think that it came down to respecting the opponent. And that's why we came away with the 3 points, and we played right till the end. So I can only applaud the team for the way they played. I don't know what Nuno drew, but whatever he's drawing is working. So it's all working out.
Oh, you saw that too? I was like, what the hell is that, bro?
It was a mess, but hey, it's working. I don't care. As long as they get the job done. So, they dominated Jota and André Silva. What a ridiculous pair. Like, they're just like, they're clicking, and I'm loving it. And, it's too bad that we're missing Otavio, but, it was a good game for him to sit out and, don't risk his injury more than what you need to. So, it was an easy win. Oroca never threatened. We were on top of them the whole match. Possession, dominated.
They bent over, cough.
Yeah, not like Flash Benfica. Don't even go there. I don't even get started on that.
I'm just
yeah, it's all good. So, I mean, they dominated. There isn't really much to say. Besides that, I do have to point out, like I always do, win, lose, or draw. There was a penalty that should have been called against Oroca on André Silva in the box. I could see why the referee didn't call it. And then there was also another penalty not called. Brahimi was in the box with the Oroca defender running to the end line, and he was getting grabbed by his jersey and pulled down. And that one that one's a little harder because, the referee and the linesman, nobody can see it because their backs were turned to the ref. So that's a tricky call. I mean, if it was like in UEFA, like a Champions League match, the referee behind the net can call it because he can see it.
Yeah.
But the Andrés Silva one, I think that, should have gave the benefit. He gave him a push. I mean, it wasn't like a shove, but he gave him a push that it was enough to like kind of like throw him off his balance. So I just have to point that out. Another bad call against Porto.
I honestly didn't watch the second half because I thought it was pretty much game over after you guys scored the first goal. Because to be honest, it didn't really bother you like at all. So, but it was a comfortable Porto win, and that's fine. Herrera for once actually had a very decent pass in the first half, and I was like, holy. He actually passed that ball. I didn't think he was going to do that. The first goal was very poorly defended, and I didn't watch the second goal. And the third goal I did see. Which brings me to my next topic here. Brahimi shushing the fans.
He needs to calm down a little bit. It's his first goal in how long? And it took him how long to do it?
He
had to be a ball hog to do it. So, he scored, and that's all that matters. I'm glad that he scored. And I was actually happy that he scored. It was a nice goal. You know, he just like dribbled through a couple of defenders and got into the box and just fired it into the back of the net. And I think that when he shot it, he was just like, "This is going in, and I'm going to give it all I got." Went into the back of the net. Celebration could have been a little better. I mean,
No, that was a rage goal. That was just like
yeah, it was
big
and
F you to the fans. A big F you to the fans.
Yeah, but I don't know why he's like that. I mean,
Because he probably hears them constantly at the Olival every single day that he's trash, that they should
but can you blame them? I mean, what's he been doing? He's not the same Brahimi
No,
that he
I don't
was
blame
when he
him.
first came.
I don't blame him. I don't blame the fans. I blame Pinto Costa. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put the blame on him because I think he should have sold him. And he shouldn't have gotten this hate. He doesn't deserve this hate because the past 2 seasons, although I think that he was subpar, he wasn't bad. So I think he should have left on the right terms with the team and say, okay, I didn't manage to help you guys out. Okay, fine. Bye.
And it was a good price, too. And he's very temperamental, too. I mean, you know, I really wish he would have worked out better. But.
Yeah, he's not one of those guys that actually, you know, is like Skeloto. Like, he's got nothing to do with that. So I don't really blame the fans nor Brahimi. I don't blame Brahimi for that reaction. Although, you know, it's uncalled for. Obviously, nobody likes seeing that. But
no, obviously. But, I mean, I can understand it. I mean, like, I look at it from his point of view with all the criticism and everything. It's like, what now? But in the same token, like, what have you done this whole time? You know, so.
Yeah, but, you know, it's so many things behind the scenes. I'm not a ball every single day. I can't even imagine what he goes through, though, with the fans.
Yeah, I get
it. Before I touch upon another topic, I just want to quickly say Sporting drew Brazilians for the Taça. We drew Nacional, and you guys play Chaves now. To me, that's like match of the weekend, whatever you want to call it.
Benfica drew Marítimo, no?
Yeah, we did. I said that.
Benfica drew Marítimo, no?
Yeah, I said that.
You said Nacional.
I said Nacional. Okay.
Same island.
Yeah, same island, but obviously I meant to say Marítimo.
Yeah.
You guys drew Chaves away from home. I think that's going to be a very, very good game.
Yeah, it'll be tough, but I'm pretty sure we can get it done.
You sure you're confident in that? Because it's not like 100% certain. After they played Benfica all that while, they played really well against us. And it's the Taça. Anything can happen at the Taça.
No, and I understand that. I mean, just look at Rio, for example. You know, and they were home.
And now Braga's going to happen. And now Braga's going to happen. Braga's going to lose now.
I hope so. I hope that Santa Clara can go there and surprise them. I don't think it'll happen, though. I mean, I really wish it could, but I don't think it's going to. But anyway, going back to the Chaves game, you know, it's going to be tough. I saw most of the Chaves Benfica game a few weeks back, and Chaves could have came away with the win. They could have came away with a draw. It was a little harsh to lose, but you know, they're a very good side. They only lost to Braga yesterday, 1-0, and it was on a penalty, I believe. So, you know, they came here to compete with the big boys, and I tip my hat to them.
So okay, but on Chaves deal, we think it's going to be a interesting game, right?
It will be. It's going to be a tough game. And that game might even go to extra time. I think it might. I really believe it might. I mean, I think Porto will come out on top, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went to extra time.
Okay, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. One of the last topics I want to touch upon here is on the Porto debt. I think we need to talk about this just a little bit, and figure out how you got negative 50 million euros, you know, as your profit, let's say. You know, it's not profit. It's the exact opposite. You lost 50 million euros.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big debt. I'm sure they'll overcome it. So, you know, Andrés Silva, his time, you know, it's limited with Porto, let's be honest here. I don't think he'll leave in January, but I think that next summer he might be leaving, and for a good fee. Brahimi, I think that was a missed opportunity. I think that clubs are going to see past what Porto were asking for, and I believe it was Everton who almost signed him over the summer transfer window on the last day. So, I mean, that's a lost opportunity. I don't know who else they said they could have sold. I think it was Ruben Neves.
They could have sold Herrera.
Yeah, Herrera.
Andres Silva and somebody else. Can't remember who it was.
I think it was Ruben Neves. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I can look it up, but yeah, it was.
Yeah,
one
I mean,
yeah, go on though.
it's just
not
besides
really
the point.
who it is. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter who it is.
It's besides the point. He says that PTFootyPodcast said he could have gotten 95 mil in all total sales, but I mean, I think like I said, we'll overcome it. Depending on what we do in the Champions League, I'm sure we'll make it out of the group. But the thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is, we have a 50 million euro debt. They're obligated to buy Oliver for like 20 or 22, plus they have an option for Jota. I mean, like I said last week, I think that they can try to negotiate that. I don't know what Atletico will ask for. I don't know. I hope they can negotiate. I mean, anywhere between 10 to 15 will be good for me. No more than that. No more than 15. But I mean, we can't let that play. We can't let him go. Pretty much, he's a player that has to stay. He lifted up the team. It's like kind of what Renato did for Benfica last season. He came in, he lifted the team. I think that Jota is doing the same thing because he was there. He didn't really play when we first got him. He was on the bench, just kind of looking, see how the team plays, whatever. And as soon as he came in, first game he starts against the Nacional, made a big difference, got a hat trick. So I think that he's an impact player for us, and he's a player that can't leave. Same thing with Oliver. I think that he's been great for us, and he is really helping out the midfield. I think he's a great player for us.
You want to know what's funny, though? I just go a little bit off topic. Brian didn't even remember Oliver Torres that joined Porto.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Kevin. I never watched Porto.
That's all right.
We were discussing pre-pod, and he was like telling me the starting 11 for Porto, and he goes Oliver Torres, and he's like, "Wait, what?" I was Atlantic Madrid.
I had no idea.
I was like, dude, you've been sleeping under a rock or something.
Yeah, he's been back.
Yeah,
I just checked like the scores. That's my thing, is that I really don't like to watch Porto Sporting, so I just check the scores, and that's about it. Like,
I thought it was quite funny though. But listen though, the players that PTFootyPodcast said he didn't sell. The only one that I agree with is Andres Silva though, because to be honest, you're not missing anything on Herrera.
Oh, Brahimi. They should have both.
Brahimi. So this is what puzzles me a little bit. Why did he reject?
Because I think he's starting to lose it a little bit, honestly. And I believe I've told you this, you guys, before. I think this was before Brian came on the pod. This is like a while back. I don't know if you remember, but I did say that, I thank PTFootyPodcast for what he did for Porto. All these years, he turned us into a dynasty, a championship team. But within the last couple of years, since the last time he won, he's fell off track. I don't know if it had to do anything to do with his wife. I mean, he just divorced her. He's just jumped into another relationship, so I don't know what the hell's going on in his mind. Guy's like 78, like freaking woman to woman. But anyway, that has nothing to do with it. But maybe it could have been his ex-wife. I don't know. His son is involved in the club. He's a bad influence, I think. There's a reason why Antero Henrique left. So obviously there was a lot of button heads there with the Saad and PTFootyPodcast. So I think his time is done, honestly. And I think that if we don't win anything this season again, I think that people are just gonna be like, you know what?
But
sorry.
No, because I was actually discussing this, and this is why I brought up this, is because I was discussing this when I was during my driving class, and I was asking my teacher exactly why didn't PTFootyPodcast step down though? Like, I think he's done enough that he could have stepped down at least 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
and he's going through a slump now. And I don't think he's going to be remembered as the PTFootyPodcast. He could have been remembered would have Benfica won the Campeonato. So the 33rd.
I know why he hasn't stepped down. I think he's getting his last bit of money that he can out of Porto before he leaves. I know it's low. I honestly believe that.
That's a true possibility. I mean, I wouldn't really doubt it. I mean, I don't think it's because he doesn't think that anybody else is worthy of smart enough to run the club. I don't think it is that. I think that, with the debt that we have, I mean, you got to look into this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I really don't hope not to think so, that he's not stealing money from the club. But, I mean...
No, but I
personally
see his point. I see his point, but...
No, I do too. I do too.
I don't know. I think he could have stepped down, and he should have stepped down. And
I believe so,
think
too.
he earned a lot of money. I don't think he needs any more money, to be honest.
And a lot of
with you.
respect, too. He earned the respect of all the fans and everything.
That was exactly what I was going to pop up before Brian interrupted me, is that after Benfica won the 33rd, so that's their first campeonato, if he would have stepped down, I don't think anybody would have said anything. Now, Benfica, imagine if Benfica win the Tetra, and then he steps down, and everybody's going to remember him for the last 4 years that he just completely didn't do anything with Porto.
Yeah. I don't think we'll remember him for that. I'll always remember him with his legacy and everything he did for the club, because he turned that club around. And there's no denying that.
Yeah, but, some people with, a lot worse memory than you, and you know that there's a lot of guys out there, aren't going to remember him as such a legend as he was. And he should be rightfully be remembered amongst the Porto
That's
fans.
wrong, but that's people's memory and opinion. That's fine.
I think he will be remembered as a legend, like Kevin said. I think people's going to look over his last few bad years and consider him. I mean, he made Porto. He made Porto.
Yeah.
It was him. You know what I mean? Okay, they haven't won the last 3, and they might not win this year. That'll be 4. But, I mean, he absolutely did it. How he did it, I think it was some tricky ways, in my opinion, but Kevin was going to disagree.
Yeah, he did it.
But
he did it.
He's a
Exactly.
legend. He is a legend in Portuguese football. Not just for Porto, for Portuguese football, because we've never had a president run that long, and we've never had someone dominate as much as he has. Me personally, I believe it was some tricky ways, but I'm not right.
He
That's
did
just
it.
an opinion.
He did it. Bottom line, he did it. Let's just go like that. Bottom line, he
That's
did
just
it.
my opinion. I don't know.
But bottom line, he did it. Let's just leave it at that. Let's make Kevin happy. Bottom line, he did it. He did whatever he had to do to bring Porto to the top, and he did it.
Yeah.
He did.
So-
And I think that, like the last few years, especially if we don't win this season, I think that nobody's going to remember him as, Peter da Costa, this, and that. I think they're going to remember these last 4 years if we don't win. Unfortunately, he got old and he got off his rocker.
I think it's exactly. It's going to be that mixture of he was such a legend, but then why didn't he
Should have just
Porto
retired
years ago?
Similar to
have
Arsene Wenger and Arsenal.
Mhm.
It's a similarity there, A lot of Arsenal fans want him to step down, but now they're saying it's like his image is tainted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And there's just obviously 2 more things that I want to talk about, but I want to do one more before I get to those final 2 things, because I think they're pretty quick. Who would you like to see succeed? Yeah, is it
Succeed.
Success. Yeah,
Yeah,
succeed.
succeed.
There you go. That's right. Pinto Costa.
Oh, that's a good question. Vitor Bahia ran. I think that he's a Porto legend, so I wouldn't mind it. But I don't want nobody that's in the side right now to take over. No way.
Godin Lopes.
Who?
Godin Lopes, they used to be president of Sporting.
Yeah, let's get Valas Woods, even better.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't want anybody who's in the side now, because I'm afraid we'll be in the same mess. I think we need somebody new, young, with a fresh
Would you take
idea.
Antero? Would you take Antero?
Probably.
You don't want his son, obviously.
He
Obviously not.
No.
Get into that.
I would take
even I'm discussing that.
I would take Antero. You know why? Because he constructed the last really good team that we had with Hulk and James and Falcao. He put that team together, so I trust him to make the right decisions.
And that's when you know that Porto got something messed up. Is when his opinions don't matter.
Exactly.
That's why he left.
Yep.
So you guys need to clear up everything. I mean, I personally don't really care, but I do a little bit, because I talk about them, and then my dad's like, "Why are you talking about Porto? Like nobody cares about them." And I'm like, I do a little, because I like to, I like to see competition, and I prefer to win, obviously. But you guys need to clear up all that side bullshit. Just like everybody, top to bottom, everybody needs to go. Like almost everybody. So yeah, you'd like to see Antero or Vitor Bahia succeed Pinto Costa. Last, or almost last but not least, Stubble. You guys play Stubble. away from home. What are you expecting? I'm expecting an easy win for Porto. What are you expecting?
I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I think that I think that Stuba will hold their own, but I think that we'll come away with the 3 points. Hopefully, especially with the Classical will be on the back of their minds. But they need to get the job done. Start the game, come in strong, get a goal. Control the game. Don't let Stubble have any opportunity whatsoever. Get a stranglehold on the match and win it. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about Benfica. Just get the job done.
Yeah, you guys should get the job done. And that's all you get to worry about, like you said. If you guys think about Benfica, if you have that in the back of your mind,
it'll go wrong.
And especially Bruges, because that's what brings me up to the final topic of the podcast. You play Bruges as well at home. Obviously, you should win.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts if I'm going to make the same question as I made Alex? Suppose that you drop points to Stubble. How's the team going to be against Bruges?
I think that I don't think that it'll really mess them up because we got Stubble this weekend, then we played Bruges at home, so that's good. I think that with the game against Stubble, don't think about Bruges and don't think about Benfica. Just focus on that one match this weekend. I think that if we do drop points this week, I don't think the team will care too much about the Champions League. It seems like they don't really have that mentality that it's all that important with the group that they had. I think that they thought it was going to be a walk in the park,
Yeah.
And I did too, I'll be honest. I still think we'll get out of the group, especially with that win. That was a big win. But, focus each game at a time. Don't think ahead. Go to Stubble, get the job done, come home, win against Bruges, and then work hard, give it your all against Benfica, because that's going to be one of the biggest games of the season, and it could be the biggest. So focus a game at a time.
Now I'm just going to move to a Twitter question. I'm actually going to mention two because one of them I forgot to mention last week, I believe. But one of them we did discuss, but you weren't here already. But I'm going to ask you this because you're a Portista. And, this is related to the Porto debt, and it's from Sergio. And he asked you if you think that after, you lost all that money, was it worth it to bring in Iker Casillas and Maxi?
Well, both of them
in
are
hindsight,
free. Both of them are free, though.
Big
wage-wise, though.
Talking about
but we're not paying for Iker's full wage. We're not.
Okay, but around 3 million for Maxi and around 5 million for Casillas. Is that worth it for those two players? Do you think? I don't care what do you think? Is it worth it, even given the losses that you have those two players?
I don't really think so. Not so much Maxi, but I think Iker a little excessive. But I mean, he's Iker Casillas. When they said that he was coming to Porto, that's a big deal. That's huge. Nobody knew that it was going to turn out with some games some goals he let in.
We're talking about in hindsight, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking
and given the loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it if that's. Yeah, if we're looking at it in hindsight, then no, not really.
Yeah, there you go. That question was in hindsight, obviously.
All right.
So not really. Just exactly like what we said. Maxi, okay, Casillas is just a big no-no.
Yeah.
And the last question of the podcast, and this was, related to the Benfica medical team, Brian. Do we change it on the off season? That's what Sergio was asking because of all those players coming in and out of injury. Do we change the medical team?
I don't know. Players are starting to come back now, so the next off season will be a couple of weeks during Christmas. So if we see a lot of more injuries during that time, before then I guess we might have to change it. But if we don't, we see our players coming back, then we should keep them. It's a difficult thing, because maybe Rui Vitória really trusts those guys, and bringing in new people could disrupt not just the medical team, but it could disrupt the team, period. Because one thing I noticed with Rui Vitória is that he treats everyone like a super important player, from the towel ladies to the medical team, from everybody. So I don't think we will change it, and I don't know. I don't think we should because it's just I think we've just had bad luck because for quite a few years we didn't have this much bad luck with injuries, but lately we have. I say we keep him.
Asking for a neutral opinion on this, Kevin. If you saw all those injuries in Porto, would you say it's the staff's fault or just lack of luck?
It could be a combination of the two. I mean, it could be they're being overworked. They have the same tight schedule as Porto and Sporting does. So I think Porto is the club, probably the club with the least amount of injuries, I believe. I mean, the only one I can think of is Maxi, now Otavio.
And now he's back. Now you got Otavio, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty good for this far in the season with a tight schedule. But it all matters is down the final stretch. This is the beginning of the season. Now we're starting to hit mid-season form. You got to keep that in mind too. So, the players are starting to, break away from the beginning of the season to the middle. Now, what matters the most is towards the end, where it's a long season. You got Champions League, depending on how far you go. Taça da Liga, you also got Taça de Portugal, depending on how far you go. So, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, sometimes it's out of your hands, the injuries. I know that Porto has one of the best medical staffs in Portugal. I mean, that has to be said. But I really don't blame, the trainer, the medical trainer for Benfica. I mean, I think, he could stay. I don't really know what the root causes of the injuries are. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but I mean...
Most of them are muscle injuries. And what was more discussed was the length of the recovery process. That was basically it.
I mean, it's different ways of doing things, and I think maybe he needs to go to Porto's medical staff and see how things should be done.
Oh, that's definitely yes. And I'm not even joking. I'd gladly take that. They got one of the best in Portugal, so I wouldn't be against that. But I think that pretty much covers it for this week. You can follow me on Twitter at Peter1678, or if you want to follow the podcast at PTFootyPodcast. You can find Brian at Brian_NN, and Kevin is POR_soccer. We'll be back next week with PSoccerCom, I believe. It's at PSoccerCom on Twitter if you want to follow him, where we're going to be reviewing the league and the Champions League ties. Well, see you guys.
Take it easy.